21, 25, 20, 30, 45.
What's on the other side of the door, then?
Yeah, I mean, it's just bouncing all over the place.
52?
Look at this.
Yeah, it is.
My name is John Adamson. I'm the Director of Special Events at the Queen Mary, and we're here at the Queen Mary in Long Beach, California. The Queen Mary has been here for 35 years. After it retired from its service, 31 years at sea, the city of Long Beach boarded in 1967, and it arrived here on December 9th, 1967, to be opened up as a tourist hotel convention center. The ship was launched in 1934 by Queen Mary, the wife of King George V, the reigning monarch, and its maiden voyage was May 27th, 1936.
This is where room 340 was once. They took the plaque off, and they don't advertise it here anymore, but this is the room that was known for having poltergeist activity. It was just your regular cabin where people come in and spend the night, stay, and they had to shut it down. And it got so bad that they took the plaque off. They try to keep it locked up, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. But the last time we were here, there was we were talking with some guards, and they were watching in their TV camera, and they were going on their rounds, and right in the hall here there was a linen cart, and it was like just all of a sudden came, it was in one spot, but it just came pushed, like someone had gotten it, pushed it with all their force, and it went floating down the hall. Well, not floating, but rolling down the hall. And there was nobody around. They had some guy come and check it out, but there was no one around. So,
since the ship's been here, a guest, one of our hotel guests, complained that the furniture had been moved in their room, and sure enough, housekeeping went down there, and the furniture had been moved. And so they put it back again, and the next day, the guest was staying several days, the next day all the furniture had been piled up into one corner, all the furniture that could move, including the sheets, the bedspread, everything, the pillows, was all piled up in one corner, like it had just been thrown there. And now this guest was really annoyed, and of course we had to tell him that nobody of our housekeeping staff would do that. And it was one of the unexplained instances, but it had been found out that someone had died in that cabin when the ship was sailing.
When does ghost activity become poltergeist activity?
well, a lot of people don't even think that poltergeist activity is associated with a haunting, because a lot of times it has to do with a person's emotions or mood swings or on that level, and it can trigger things to start flying off the wall or door slamming.
So it's not necessarily a spiritual presence, or it can be caused by psychic
Psychokinesis.
Right, exactly. A lot of times I'll see where if it's a dusty location, and that is true that when you have the light on, it's going to pick up a lot of dust. So then it makes it harder because you have to determine what's the dust and what's an orb. The way I go by it is how, like I said, how it makes the maneuvers. There was one when we were at a private residence a couple weeks ago where it actually started up here and it was really bright, and it came down, was making maneuvers, and it looked like about this size. And then by the time it got by the fireplace, when it went in the fireplace, it was this big, and the color even got dimmer, where it was bright white before, and then it kind of just got bigger and faded out. Now, I don't feel like dust is going to do all that. That's a little bit giving it too much credit. People need to see how easily it can be done, like with the dust and with smoke. Smoke can look like a mist or an apparition, you know, when you have the cigarette smoke or incense or whatever, and you take a picture. Also, if you're out in the mountains or something and it's snowing, raindrops, mist, snow, that'll also make false orbs if you're taking photos. If you're in the desert when you're kicking up the dust, that's going to make false orbs.
I've heard the same thing in like cemeteries. A lot of times they're very dusty places, old cemeteries and stuff.
So I want to do that. I want to take photos and the video of all this so that I can show people, you know what, this is also, we are looking on the other end of it too, showing that not everything that we see, we're saying that it's something. You know, we do realize
that you're serious investigators,
Yeah, we're trying to rule out, and we are aware that these natural things do cause false orbs.
Some people say that, you know, they've done such horrible things in life, they're afraid to go to the light because they're going to be punished in the afterlife. Heaven, hell, all that. It could be anything.
When the Queen Mary was a troop ship, she was transporting Italian prisoners of war through the Red Sea. And the Queen Mary, of course, did not have air conditioning. And these prisoners were kept in very confined areas. But it became extremely hot. And these prisoners weren't in the best of health as it was. And many of them died, I don't know exact numbers, but several dozen died through heat exhaustion. And it's very unfortunate, but this did happen. And this is probably the one time the large number of people died at one time.
When you have experiences like this, because of course you investigate this stuff all the time, does it still send a little bit of a shiver or a chill, or what do you feel when you hear this stuff?
Chill, but yes, absolutely. I mean, you're never ready for it. You're listening to a tape where you didn't hear anything, but somebody was having a conversation with you.
Yes, that's because I mean, even as you're telling the story, I'm feeling the back of the neck, the goosebumps. But
I've been involved for a little under a year. I don't know exactly how many months, and gone on some pretty interesting investigations. I'm really jealous because I haven't experienced anything as dramatic as having something touch me with force. I've experienced a couple small things, the feeling of something brushing against my cheek, almost like walking through a spider web. And it freaked me out because I hate spiders. I'm the biggest wussy in the world. I do not like spiders. And if I walked through what felt like a spider web, but there was nothing there.
I guess now that paranormal research is becoming more public and more people are, like you said, people used to believe that these things were demons or evil, and now that people are getting away from that, probably people are more likely to report it and have you guys come out for investigations too.
Probably. Most people, I mean, even as much as 10, 15 years back, they just bring priests in to cleanse the house. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's all the work of Satan. But we're just starting to realize that there are other things going on around us.
Yeah.
What are you going for right there? Just a shot of the glass?
Yeah, I have, this has like a sepia tone effect to it, and since this is kind of authentic, I was just kind of giving it that old picture look kind of thing. I found that if you, sometimes when you take flash photos, you tend to pick up certain little abnormalities in the light and stuff, sometimes what they call orbs. Sometimes they're not necessarily orbs, sometimes they're reflections and whatnot, but once in a while you get some really interesting things on camera. Just take a picture of, something that's really not anything, it's just, like a hallway, for instance, or something. And you pick up a lot of strange things sometimes on there.
I'm just going to drop to 54 right there.
You give me chill.
No, not this one. 71, 2. Ooh, 7159.
I feel it too. It gave me a chill. I got goosebumps.
All right here, we're down to 58. Drastic change in air temperature.
Real cold right here.
There's no air.
Keep in consideration how hot it was today too.
Yeah.
It was like what, 85 probably?
You know what's weird? It was over there. I feel a breeze.
Me too.
Yeah.
Just wonder where these breezes are coming through.
Dee got an orb in one of the, only one the whole time we've been here.
I got one.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. She wants to come out and play, but she won't come closer.
It's a she.
It's a she. I can feel she's a she.
I see orbs, but I don't see like chairs falling kind of things too often, and that pretty much motivated me to find out more.
What's that noise?
It's not supposed to be running right now.
Oh.
It only runs during the attraction hours.
Here. It's like right here.
I don't see anything where there's a vent.
Still air pumping out the vents. It's actually getting warmer up here. 10 degrees temperature difference.
I've heard this noise before.
Not at this time.
At this time, I've heard it before later on at night.
But it's not supposed to be on, is what you're
It
saying.
shouldn't be on at this time.
Okay.
That drew the drilling noise or
Yeah.
whatever.
Now, you guys know when we came in here, you didn't hear it, did you?
No.
For about what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, right, yeah.
You guys don't know what it. You don't know what it is.
He's-
I
Doesn't know
personally
what it
don't know exactly what it is.
But the thing that really got me was the noises in the engine room. We looked everywhere that we could. We looked top and bottom, high and low, and couldn't find anywhere that those noises were being generated from. They weren't coming out of speakers.
I don't feel that breeze anymore either.
No,
You
but
don't? I do.
Where you are?
we're still.
Yeah, it's cooler over here, but I mean, before, I actually felt the air moving.
Yeah, I can feel it on my face, like coming toward me.
Have you experienced anything else on here?
Yeah, I've seen stuff down in the engine room.
In the engine room?
In the engine room, down in the boiler room. And I've heard a lot of stuff that people have said they've heard. When we first came down here, it didn't go on for about 15 minutes.
Okay, and then it started.
And then when we went up there, like 4 of us went up there, it didn't make it for like
Stop.
10 minutes while we were hanging up there.
We came back and it started up again.
So it's one of the 4 that went up there.
Yeah.
Well, he says he's heard it when he's down there,
Okay, you have.
but he doesn't know why it's not supposed to be going on.
So why don't 2 people stay here and the rest go on the other side?
No.
Do you come down here a lot by yourself or not really?
Yeah, this is one of our patrol areas.
Well, I was a skeptic, but being with the group since
June of last year. I think I've seen enough to know that something's going on. So I'm just looking for scientific explanations. It's right up in this area and then lower. Whatever it is right up above. Right up above here. What the hell is that?
What I heard in the engine room was basically, it sounded almost like it was noises that were mechanical in nature. It was hard to distinguish whether it was strictly a mechanical noise or if it was forced air, something along those lines. But it almost sounded like a spinning, like a piece of machinery that was spinning, and the noises would come on very, very suddenly and quickly, and they would last for approximately a couple minutes, and then they would shut off, all without anyone being in any one specific area. We traced what appeared to be the source of the noise to a corridor on the other side of the wall. The corridor was basically an open area with a staircase in the middle of it, and there was no machinery in that stairwell that would have been making that kind of noise.
Oh, it just turned off.
The staircase is right there.
Is that what it is?
It's a fire staircase.
Yeah, there's nothing there. There's no...
It's making noise from in here. As soon as I turn on...
Right on the other side of that.
As soon as I turn on the camera and put it here, the noise stopped. That was weird.
Yeah, but he opened the door too, right at the same time.
Huh.
What's right on the other side of you?
I don't know.
There's something in there.
You can feel it.
My name's Gregory Cohen. I'm a show guide for Ghosts and Legends of the Queen Mary.
Ghosts and Legends, what is it portraying? Some of the legends, actually.
Well, basically, it's giving a little bit of the history of ghost sightings and the events that supposedly, at least, have caused them.
The lights should be back on any section. There. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems we've made contact. Now, if you'll follow me, we must move on to our next haunt. The ghosts are waiting for us. Now, when the ship was in service, all of these doorways were hydraulically controlled. That means that more than 700 pounds of hydraulic pressure would slam these doors shut in a matter of seconds. The men on board used to play a game called chicken. They'd hop in and out of the doorway, see how many times they could pass through before the door slammed shut. In 1966, there was a young fireman assigned to these boiler rooms, and one day he was just a little too slow. The door slammed shut, cutting his body in half. His ghost has haunted the boiler rooms of the Queen Mary ever since. So keep your eyes open. See if you can't spot one half. Or the other. Of Half Hatch Henry. This way.
Like to have gotten access to is the bow, where the Queen Mary struck the Mauritania's escort ship during World War II, and they found dead bodies in the bow. I've been up there once before, and I heard some strange things. It's basically just a staircase from the top to the bottom. It's a bulkhead. There's nothing in there. But You can, I heard distinct whistling, which is audible, whistling and sounded like muffled voices and a laugh. And that's, the story behind that is when it struck the Mauritania, and the Mauritania went down, they picked up most of the passengers. They got back to port, there was a big hole in the front of the Queen, and they found the body of a sailor from the Mauritania inside the hole. He had survived the crash and been thrown inside, but died of exposure on the way back.
This is the only area of the Queen Mary to suffer any structural damage when she collided with her escort cruiser, the HMS Curacoa, on October 2nd, 1942. The Queen Mary was traveling through the submarine-infested waters of the North Atlantic. Evading the enemy, she was using a zigzag cruising pattern when she struck the Curacoa midship, severing the smaller vessel in two.
I haven't had many strange occurrences myself, although I have talked to many people on board who have seen strange things, apparitions, strange happenings, sounds.
That's when I heard it.
What you guys should do, you guys have a tape recorder that'll run for, like, if it's voice activated, and it won't run all continuously. Keep one in your room tonight. What deck are you guys on?
B.
Keep it on if you can with fresh battery. Because we've had guests come on here knowing or having stories that the place is haunted. Put a tape recorder in the room, let it run.
Yeah, I have one, and mine has voice activated.
Pick up stuff. Yeah, mine does. Yeah. Now, I've never heard any of these tapes that they've supposedly picked stuff up on, so I don't know what.
Have you personally had any paranormal experiences here on the ship?
Nothing definite. I've seen things, I've felt things, and heard things that I can't quite explain. I've seen shadows that I know aren't being caused by people. I've heard noises that aren't part of the attraction. I guess mostly there are times that I walk through the attraction that it feels different. It feels scarier.
One trip out here, this could be an area of a lot of activity, and then say you come out another time and you don't see the same activity at all, and what would that tell you?
It tells me either nothing's going on and it was a mistake, or that whatever was here is moved somewhere else for the time being.
But it would seem to indicate that whatever was making that disturbance the first time was not part of the natural environment, say, of the ship, like a generator or something nearby.
Yeah, if it's something, of course, on the ship, then we're going to get the same readings every time. Like right now, this is where we're standing. I took the first picture straight through there. I'm getting little jumps, but not the spike that I had last time.
No.
This is just one of the reported sightings of the Queen Mary's Lady in White. She's supposedly seen at different times dancing in the shadows. Nobody knows who she is. She's been most often seen here in the Queen's Salon, which was originally the first-class ballroom, and also at the piano in the lobby when we first came up, sitting at the piano, playing the piano. But the most reportings are of her somewhere in here when the lights are usually dim, dancing in the corners in the shadows.
the story that you just told, kind of like in my mind, sounds like a residual haunting. And so could you kind of explain to me what that is and then compare it with like an intelligent spirit?
Sure. I mean, there are quite a few different theories about residual hauntings as well, ranging from your environment can record times of grave motion, just play them back randomly when the environmental conditions are right. Basically, residual haunting is just that. That's why a lot of people, when they talk about their house being haunted, they'll see the same event happening over and over again. Maybe, a murder or a fight, somebody screaming and running. It's basically that these spirits, these entities, will not have any interaction with you. They do the exact same thing at the exact same time every time they see you.
So just like her in the ballroom, she
Yes.
shows up, you see her dancing, but you never really see anything else. And then
She doesn't look at people, she just does the exact same thing all the time. That's pretty much what residual haunting is.
Now, and that the theory is that can also be caused not necessarily by bad emotion, like you were talking, like murder and tragedy, but also great, like say, very happy emotion, and she just replays that over and over again.
You see two weak ones right here. That's the first picture I took. So I moved around, got one right out in front.
Oh, yeah.
So you see one right at the base of the stairs there. And as I moved back, it was moving towards me. The sequence. Now it's right out in front. So it came off the stairs and moved around, and as I moved to the right, it moved towards me.
Say, for instance, do atmospheric conditions say, for instance, this is a different type of night? It will have something different.
The geomagnetic field and solar rays, X-rays, anything. Anything can, but...
well, not just for the meter, but for any, like, legitimate ghostly activity. They'll respond more in certain conditions than others, or...
One theory is they feed off electromagnetic energy. They are magnetic energy, and they feed off electromagnetic energy. So, when you're having, say, a geomagnetic storm, there's more electromagnetic energy in the air. More often than not, you're going to see more than you would on a night where everything was calm.
So there may be something to those old ghost stories, lightning and rain in the sky. It's a dark and stormy night, and
exactly.
Exactly.
The story connected to the swimming pool is, of course, the wet footprints that have been seen down there. Of course, today we don't have any water in the swimming pool; it's empty.
Check it out.
So where was it?
I would guess anywhere.
Because there's some famous picture where
Where were they standing? Are those footprints you guys see over there right now? Yeah. Those are put there on purpose. Those were the actual spots where the actual footprints were seen before.
Wait, what are you saying?
The footprints, okay, see where they're at? The footprints they're seeing right now? Those were made for the attraction. But the reason they're put there is because that's the actual spot they were seeing.
Is it supposed to be wet? Is it supposed to be wet?
How come they're wet? What? They're wet. Are you sure they're wet? Yeah, we're just pushing the water out. Yeah.
And that has been unexplained.
Looks like blood right there. Doesn't it look like blood right here?
Rust.
This is where the portal is.
You need the light though, right?
Yeah, the light helps a lot. Can you flash a light in here, Dad?
Yeah.
This just looks like a weird shower.
That's weird.
It might be for a handicapped person.
See the ceiling is like on the inside.
Mother of
there,
pearl.
it's made out of mother of pearl.
Yeah.
What's mother of pearl?
Pearl.
Yeah.
It's pearl. It's like a.
It's very
Kind of like a terrazzo.
There's a closed doorway right here or something. There's this. But then there's that. And then there's another one that goes up. Wow, what's that noise?
That's from the pool room.
Oh, it's from there.
This is a shower.
How about point that light in there? What's so secret about this shower?
It's all blocked off.
What's so secret about this? Here, open that.
It looks like it's screwed in from the other side.
See if I can. Oh, the toilet, it smells like shit.
Back with someone that got murdered in the harbor or something a long time ago. But this guy that it was following, that it got attracted to from the news group, he kind of looked, I guess, like the killer or something.
What? Is anyone home today?
I'm here to ask you a series of questions. Don't be afraid. I only want to speak with you. I want to ask you to come and answer my questions now. Come out where you're hiding and simply answer my questions. What is your name?
Leona from Leona is her name.
What is your age?
What do you think, Jason? Around 35 years old, long hair,
Oh, brown hair.
dark blonde hair. It's not that dark.
And she's moving around.
Yes.
Do you know you're dead? Are you male or female? What year is it? Have you lost someone? Do you feel lost?
And apparently she changed here and something really happened to her.
Did you drown?
She was killed here. I mean, in an accident.
Do you want to go home? Where is home? Are you looking for someone?
Right here, I kept getting like nonstop.
He said that he saw that woman that we saw in the shower. He saw it upstairs.
Oh, you have?
I've seen it from up top. Right there on the wall.
Oh, really?
She was sitting there when they just playing with her brother.
Because it's short.
Yeah, it's gray.
Yes.
She was gone.
Oh no, not here.
They're just lost.
Yeah.
It didn't happen to me. One of the security guards was working the night shift, and she was walking through A deck, which is part of the hotel. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, she saw a little girl standing in the hallway. She thought it was a little odd that the little girl would be out so late at night, and so she approached her. And when she got closer, she realized she could see through her. And the little girl turned toward her and kind of lifted up her arms like to be picked up. And then she just disappeared. That's pretty creepy.
How about nightmares? Please, come, answer my questions. Do you have children?
It came like from right there, that area, and then it went over towards that, what is that black thing on the ground? It's a hose?
Yeah. I'm gonna go across real quick and give
Okay, right there. It's right there. Above, it was right above the sheet.
He was like talking, and you hear like a little girl like singing or something in the background and trying to talk after him.
Oh, it just came out again.
Should listen to that shit again here.
Have you ever seen a light? I have one more. Just one. And it is, why have you allowed me to ask you these questions?
Yeah, it'll pick up movements and stuff, but it'll calm down after, after so many seconds. But if there's not a lot of movement and it starts doing all that stuff, there's something else going on.
Are you kids scared right now?
Okay, now why is that thing going all the way up to like sevens and stuff?
Since I said.
I know, but like it'll calm down after.
I'm starting to get a whole bunch of orbs.
You are?
Just got like 6. Here we go.
I got one right behind you, Diana. Big one. Right behind you.
Wow,
Listening
went all the
to
way
you.
up to 10 right now.
Did it?
Yeah, past 10.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for answering my questions.
So she moves around the
She moves
ship.
around, just like the little girl that they encountered last time, that Diane encountered last time on the Queen Mary. She was said to have drowned in the third-class pool, but she spends a lot of her time at the first-class pool, and the elevator's right next to it. People see it and hear it.
So how many ghosts are supposed to be on this ship?
I've heard ranging from 10s to 600 and some.
Really?
Had this, like I said, once again, the head of security, the guy who was walking us around last time, was telling us that there have been 612 separate spirits encountered or recorded on the ship.
Well, 612
Yeah.
separate encounters, but they could be like 5
See,
doing
he didn't
all
specify.
of that.
He didn't specify.
So they could be 5 running
I've heard
around
all
doing
sorts of numbers.
What about that B340? Have you heard any?
Oh, I've heard about that one too.
When we were here about a month ago, I was talking to the, he's an engineer, and he was telling us that one of the guys that was working, and he was walking down from that B340, and there was a cart out in the middle, and it came around the corner and just started like hauling, down the hallway. And then he called, I think it was a security guard, because he called in his, in the station or wherever. And they asked if they saw anything, but they saw like a person in white out there, and he didn't see that, but that's what they saw on the screen.
The lady in white?
I don't know if he said it was a lady or a guy, but it was someone that was like all in white.
Now, intelligent hauntings, on the other hand, those are the exciting ones. That's where you don't know what's going to happen. They will make eye contact with you, acknowledge your presence, maybe attempt to communicate. Basically, it's conscious energy. Those are the exciting ones.
So now, in the traditional sense, that's what most people would consider a quote-unquote true ghost.
Yeah, exactly.
Has there ever been any videotapes or security cameras that caught any paranormal phenomenon?
Well, not so much that actually caught anything that you could see, but several times security have said that several of the surveillance cameras have malfunctioned for unknown reasons, or that the tape has been not destroyed, but has deteriorated or has images on and blurring that is unexplained.
Why do you keep opening and shutting the door?
What are those little things there? Is it just reflection? Or?
Yeah.
Do you want to go somewhere and it's not moving?
Take us where you want us to go.
It's okay, you don't have to be scared.
I jump. I have to do it.
Everyone, think up. Good. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You've just survived your tour of the paranormal. Sleep well tonight.